The glute bridge T-bench fly is one of the best and most underrated ways to help develop the inner part of your chest, and it's also one of the best ways to free weight fly. You're gonna get to really build your chest and keep it focused, and we're never gonna compromise our shoulder joint, which is why I really love the move. It's very simple to execute once you learn it, but we wanna hit the nuances of that, which we're gonna do right now. Essentially what we're trying to do is duplicate a floor press or a floor fly concept on the bench. The change up though, by moving up to the bench, is we're gonna get a lot more glute and ab activation because we have to own this glute bridge position. So to set up for this, it's very simple. Brett's just gonna put the dumbbells on his thighs, and all Brett's gonna do is he's gonna essentially kick the weights back and shift his shoulder blades onto the bench, and then he's going to drive his arms straight over his shoulders. From here, we've got two other steps we want to get to before we do any reps. One, I want him to drive his shoulders into the bench. We're going to use that to set our shoulder blades. Again, continuing to work on protecting our shoulders in this fly, removing the greatest weakness of a classic dumbbell fly. Then the last step, I want him to squeeze his glutes and squeeze his abs. You're thinking about being in a straight line from your knees through your shoulders without arching your back while keeping your pelvis in neutral. That again is the advantage we get here versus doing a floor press or a floor fly, where we're gonna get the shoulder safety benefit, but we don't really have to activate our core, and it's really, really easy to get lazy there. Now we're in a very strong position. From here, this fly is simple. All Brett is going to do, he's gonna think about opening up his elbows, maintaining that angle, and notice also the speed at which he's going. This is a really, really good chance to get a nice eccentric contraction and focus on controlling the weight down as opposed to losing control of it. Think about going 3 to 4 seconds down, and then from here, all he does is he's gonna fly up. Don't think about clanging the weights together. Think about bringing them right above your shoulders, maybe a hair less than that, because all this motion from here in doesn't really do anything. There's no real resistance from gravity there. So all you need to do is think about getting the dumbbells directly over your shoulders. Let's give them another couple reps, Brett. So again, taking his time, appreciating the eccentric contraction, because that's something we miss on a lot of the traditional flies we do, whether we're using cables or dumbbells, and then flying up. Now the great advantage of this exercise is that we can go heavy and we get to really focus on that eccentric contraction. The bench is keeping us safe. So because of that, there's one modification I want to show you so you can get the most out of this. And what we would do, if we assume that Brett is using a much, much larger weight, he's gonna get in position, we're gonna go nice and slow down with the fly, and then, assuming this is a very, very heavy weight, he would go nice and slow down with the fly, and from there, he's going to press back up. So he's gonna bring his wrists right above his elbows and press the weight back up. We can always press a lot more weight than we can fly. This gives you a really, really powerful eccentric contraction, but it makes that main press, getting the weight back up, easier, so we get to overload the eccentric. That's a really, really good way to blast your muscle fibers in a way that you don't normally tackle. So that is the T-bench glute bridge fly, and this is a perfect third or fourth exercise in a chest workout, or it's a move that you can superset if you're training a little bit of back. Keep the reps relatively high on this. Think about doing 10 to 12 reps, do 3 sets, take about 60 seconds in between each set, and that's how you get started with it. But again, once you advance, this is a fly that can be very strong, where you can really push the weight, especially because you're focusing on that eccentric. So once you're into that situation and you really trust yourself, then you can really lower the reps. Think about doing 4 to 6 reps, because again, if you're thinking 3 seconds down, the time under tension you get from there winds up being anywhere from 18 to 24 seconds worth of time under tension, and that's a lot of work for your chest fibers. So get after it and build that inner chest.